Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and I, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP, unified communications as a service, cybersecurity, compliance, infrastructure as a service, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this episode is for you.
Yeah, and if you've ever lost like an hour of your day just searching for a single company policy or answering the exact same routine question for the fifth time in a week.
Go the absolute worst.
Right. Well, today we are looking at how one company actually stopped their managers from acting like human search engines.
Exactly. So we're diving into a piece by Len Kaplan, and it's titled How We Built an AI HR Assistant. And our mission for today's deep dive is to, completely step away from the massive hype surrounding artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the whole AI is taking over the world thing.
Right, we hear constant noise about that, but we really want to ground this in a very practical, everyday use case.
Yeah.
We're looking at what happens when the HR side of the house, so human resources, the people managing benefits and personnel, collides with the IT side.
The information technology folks who are, just trying to keep the network secure and running.
Exactly.
And that intersection is really where growing businesses experience like the most friction. So CDML built an internal assistant to solve a universal headache, which is managing internal policies and procedures.
Right, because every company has employee handbooks, standard operating procedures, culture guidelines.
Right. The stuff is there. The fundamental issue isn't that the information doesn't exist. The issue is that employees, well, they never know where to find it. Or they don't know which version is the current approved one.
Yeah, it's like finding a specific procedure across different shared drives or folders is essentially like searching for a matching sock in the dark.
Ah!
It is frustrating. It burns time, and usually it just ends with the employee giving up and saying, hey, can you just help me with this, to a manager.
Yeah, and the true cost of that interaction is just massive when you scale it across a whole company. Think about it.
Oh, totally.
The employee has to stop their workflow, track down a manager, then the manager has to break their focus, just to answer a completely routine question. Context switching like that destroys productivity for both of them.
And like a manager who is rushing between meetings might even give a slightly different answer to the same question depending on the day.
Oh, which introduces so much inconsistency into the business processes.
Right. So, hey, if you're listening right now and you have ever lost a productive hour just trying to find a basic company policy, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button.
I know I have. And, Len Kaplan and his team focused on this specific issue because they wanted to solve a tangible operational bottleneck. They explicitly note in the article that they didn't want to deploy AI just to check a trendy box.
Yeah, no buzzwords for the sake of buzzwords.
Exactly. The core argument here is that AI becomes genuinely valuable when it takes scattered, siloed answers and brings them directly to the people who need them at the exact moment they need them.
Now, I would assume most companies trying to do this just like upload a static document to a chatbot and call it a day.
Right, just a PDF dump.
Yeah, but looking at how CDML built this, linking it to live files, it implies the assistant is doing something much more dynamic.
Yeah.
So let's get under the hood of how they actually engineered this HR assistant.
Sure. So they utilized a platform called Goodweek to build the actual assistant. But the real intelligence of the tool comes from its data sources.
Okay.
They connected it directly to their live SharePoint site.
Oh, wow. Live.
Live.
Yeah.
That means the AI is reading their actively approved handbooks, time-off documents, technical standard operating procedures, and security policies. It's not a static copy.
And doesn't it also plug into their calendar?
Yeah, it connects to their shared CDML events calendar in Microsoft Outlook, too.
Okay, so the practical applications they share in the article show how this moves way beyond simple data retrieval. Let's look at requesting paid time off, or PTO.
Classic example.
Right. So if an employee asks the assistant, how do I request PTO? It doesn't just return a block of text from the handbook. It actually outlines the complete workflow.
Yes.
It directs the employee to enter the request in the payroll portal and then remind them to add it to the shared events calendar.
Which is huge because bridging that gap is crucial. In a typical small business, the time-off process is usually really fractured.
Like all over the place.
Exactly. Payroll lives in one software system, management approval happens, like via email, and team visibility relies on a shared calendar. So if an employee submits the payroll request but forgets to update the shared calendar...
Management suddenly has a coverage blind spot.
Right. The AI intervenes by reinforcing the complete behavior the company actually needs to function smoothly.
And it even customizes that workflow based on who is asking, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, the article notes that for technical employees, the assistant digs into a specific PTO policy document on SharePoint. It reminds those technicians that they also have to create a synchro ticket.
Which is their internal IT support ticketing system. Yeah.
Okay, and they have to add an appointment for their absence to that specific ticket.
So it's analyzing the user's role and matching it to the specific procedural requirement. It guides the employee to execute a multi-step process correctly on the very first try.
Without a manager having to audit their request to make sure they followed all the technical steps.
Exactly. That's the magic of it.
Now, connecting the AI to Microsoft Outlook also changes how employees plan their time. An employee can actually query the AI by asking, who is out next Friday?
Yeah, and the AI parses the shared out-of-office calendar and synthesizes the entries. It can report back that specific team members are on vacation.
Which is so helpful.
Right, because in a growing organization, if 3 people submit requests for the same Friday off without realizing it, coverage just becomes a total nightmare for the manager who's trying to untangle it all.
Yeah, making the calendar that easy to query means employees can plan responsibly before they even trigger the request process. They avoid conflicts entirely without having to manually hunt through everyone's individual schedules.
It's proactive instead of reactive.
But wait, let me push back a little here. If the AI is looking at the calendar and reading company policies, that seems like a massive risk to me.
How so?
Well, I would worry that the AI might start making human resources decisions. Like, if it sees 3 people are out, could it just auto-deny a vacation request on its own?
I see what you mean. No, establishing clear boundaries is actually a major focus of Kaplan's article.
Okay.
The assistant does not make decisions, period. It does not approve or deny PTO, it does not process payroll, and it certainly does not replace management judgment.
So it functions purely as a guide then?
Yes. It tells the employee exactly how to submit the request, but a human manager still retains full authority to review and approve it.
Got it.
Its sole function is to accelerate the retrieval of already approved company information and just ensure the employee follows the correct workflow to submit it. It supports the human business process. It doesn't bypass it.
That makes a lot of sense. But relying on the AI to act as this highly efficient guide means the underlying documents have to be flawless.
Yes, they do.
And this introduces a significant catch to the whole system, which Kaplan refers to as the rule of garbage in, garbage out.
It's the golden rule of data. An AI assistant can only ever be as reliable as the documentation it's fed.
Right.
If a business has outdated policies or, multiple conflicting versions of a handbook saved across 5 different drives, the AI will synthesize that mess and provide confusing, contradictory answers to the staff.
Yeah, giving an AI access to a disorganized company server is essentially letting a speed-reading filing clerk loose in a room full of unorganized, outdated, and highly classified sticky notes.
Oh, I love that analogy. It's so true.
Like, they will deliver the information to you incredibly fast, but they might hand you a sticky note from 2018 detailing a remote work policy that was completely overhauled 3 years ago.
Exactly. And the AI doesn't inherently know that the 2018 policy is void, especially if it's still sitting in an active folder.
Which reveals why deploying an AI assistant is fundamentally a documentation and data governance project.
100%. Before a company even considers turning the AI on, they have to audit their files, establish clear ownership of documents, and just archive all the outdated material.
Which naturally leads to the issue of permissions.
Yeah.
Because, some of those digital sticky notes in that room are going to be highly confidential.
Oh, absolutely. The assistant must be restricted, so it only accesses the specific information it actually requires to function. Furthermore, employees should only ever receive answers based on data they are explicitly authorized to view.
So a business cannot just unleash an AI across its entire network infrastructure.
No, that would be a disaster.
Right, because the immediate risk there is an intern asking the AI, hey, what is the CEO's salary? And the AI happily reading off a poorly secured HR document.
Exactly. And that scenario is exactly why businesses must rigorously audit their SharePoint permissions, user roles, guest access rights, and all their administrative controls.
Because over time, as a business grows, folders just get shared haphazardly.
Yeah, permissions drift. It happens to everyone. But the AI will instantly unearth all of that technical debt. AI makes information incredibly easy to find, which is, powerful when permissions are strictly managed, but devastating when sensitive records are left exposed.
But when the permissions and documents are actually dialed in properly, the AI can actively reinforce security protocols in real time, which is really cool.
Yes, this is a great feature.
Kaplan outlines a scenario where an employee might be working late and asks the assistant, "Can I use my home computer to access client data?"
Right, a huge IT compliance issue.
Exactly. And the assistant checks the employee handbook and security policies. But rather than just delivering a flat denial, it actually provides context.
It explains the requirement to use company-approved equipment, reiterates cybersecurity policies, and directs the employee to consult IT to determine if an approved method, like a secure remote desktop, is available.
So it intercepts a potential security risk at the exact moment the employee is considering a risky action.
Yeah.
It delivers the correct protocol before the data ever leaves the secure environment.
It's amazing. And it also extends that reinforcement to the company culture itself.
Oh, how so?
Well, a new hire can ask the assistant about the company's core operating principles. The AI can summarize expectations like, owning your work, documenting everything thoroughly, and escalating problems early.
Which is so valuable because the onboarding process is often described as drinking from a fire hose. A new employee forgets half of what they are told during their first week. So giving them a tool where they can privately ask, "Wait, what is our exact policy on escalating a problem?" removes that fear of asking a manager a dumb question on day 4.
Exactly. It creates a psychological safety net. It empowers the employee to self-correct and revisit expectations independently.
But navigating the underlying architecture like auditing the permissions, organizing the documents, and mapping out those workflows, that is a heavy lift for any organization.
It really is. It takes work.
And that complexity is exactly why CDML publishes new blog posts every Tuesday and Thursday. It is designed to keep growing organizations informed so they don't have to navigate these tech implementations in the dark.
Right. And Kaplan actually concludes the article by explaining that this structured approach is exactly how CDML helps their own clients.
Oh, so they don't just sell an AI tool and walk away.
No, not at all. They help businesses identify practical use cases, organize their scattered documents, lock down their permissions, and build a strategic roadmap so the technology is safe, effective, and truly reflective of how the business operates.
Wow, okay. So bringing all these technical details back to the daily reality of a small business owner, the core takeaway from CDML's experience is that practical AI is not about replacing the human workforce.
No, definitely not.
It is about fortifying company processes, drastically cutting down on repetitive questions, and making the right answers accessible and secure.
It just creates operational clarity. It frees up management bandwidth so leaders can actually focus on strategy and growth rather than functioning in a manual search engine for the staff.
So true. Well, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today. We talked about the dangers of the messy room of digital sticky notes earlier.
Oh, yeah.
If you deployed an AI assistant tomorrow to read absolutely all of your company's internal documents, what contradictory rules, outdated procedures, or hidden security gaps would it uncover?
That is a scary thought for a lot of people.
Right. Would it find a pristine library? Or would it unearth a chaotic web of conflicting instructions?
I mean, answering that question honestly is the necessary first step toward building a resilient and efficient organization, whether you actually decide to implement AI or not.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to explore this further and learn more about building practical AI roadmaps for your own team, we highly recommend you visit cdml.com and be sure to subscribe to the blog while you're there so you don't miss those Tuesday and Thursday updates. We're Jemmy and I. Thanks for listening. Till next time.